Vision 2025 was an extraordinary success. We've had dramatic growth and changes in everything in Gulf Shores. Our population has increased, more people moving here. We have a dynamic economy. We have this amazing school system that is highly rated, and we get all kind of awards and opportunities for our children and for our community. Our medical program has increased so much. We now have a freestanding emergency department that provides our community with immediate access to critical care that we've never had before. Our state park is beautiful. We have completely reimagined and rebuilt our state park. The Waterway District, we had nothing going on our intercoastal waterway. We've expanded our second coast, and that continues to grow in a dramatic fashion. We have revitalized our beaches. We've got community access for visitors. We've got private parking areas for our residents, and we have upgraded our beaches significantly on the beach side and on the internal side, and more growth coming there. Vision 2025 was an extraordinary success. Our community is so much better and different because of that. We're hopeful. We need you to come out and help us do the same thing for Vision 2035. It only will work if we work on it together.
Who was that guy? He looks old. Well, thank you for coming. This is an important opportunity for us to do what we've done before, envision our future, help create and work toward the future we all want. And we did that in Vision 2025, and it's really interesting how that started and how we got going on that. And I want to start there because I think that leads us into what we're doing tonight. We're beginning the discussions about Vision 2035. In 2008, the majority of the council that you see today was elected to our positions. There was one change, and that was Carolyn Doty and Gary Sinek traded spaces when Carolyn moved out of the city. So we've been together, and most of the council people are here, and we've got a team that have worked hard to understand who we are, who we can be, and how do we get there. Really important to us that we just don't let it happen and get whatever we get. We want you to help us direct ourselves to where do we want to go? What is going to be best for this community, for us, and for our residents, but also keeping in mind that our dynamic tourist economy, as challenging as it is sometimes with traffic and issues that it creates, it is the only industry we have in this city, and the majority of the people that live in this city and work are working in some fashion of the tourism industry. So our goal was to create a future that had all of those elements. Vision 2025 began in 2012. But let me back up just a minute. When we walked in on 2008, we were facing situations that we did not anticipate. In 2008, we had that great recession situation that we adopted. We walked into that. And now we were fighting, trying to recover our world and try to create an economy that could survive, a budget for the city that could survive, and we could provide the things we provide. Also, when we walked in 2008, we were facing no reserves. We had no reserves in the city because we had a $10 million, plus or minus $10 million FEMA claim that they had paid us too much in 2004 at Ivan. So we had to take reserves and put them in a contingency fund and hold them back, and we didn't have anything else. So we were really struggling with no reserves in a down economy and a dynamic needs of the city. So we fought that, and then 2009 we were starting to recover. Then 2010 we fought BP, and by the time we get to 2012, we've been fighting BP since 2008. When 10, excuse me, from the oil spill we were till 12. It took us 2 years to get to the point where BP came to us and offered us a settlement. We'll pay you what you say we owe you if you'll release us free and clear, and we'll move on. And we concluded, the council completely, everybody agreed, it's time to quit fighting. It's time to start working towards the future. We take BP's money and let's get started in creating the world we want. We know, and we still know, and I know you know, this city has the capacity to be really, really special. I think it already is, but we can be better. We can always be better, and we can take care of each other better. And that's really where we were in when we started Vision 2025. And 2012 we started, 2014 we adopted it, and we recognized that what we learned in that process by talking to you, we did this before. We came in with a list of a bunch of projects that we gathered from talking to you, and we put them on a map and said, okay, everybody gets to vote. You get little stickers. Which of these projects do you think is the best for our city going forward? And what did we miss? Write down some new ones. We'll do the same thing tonight. So we ended up with 15, 20 projects, came back again. Okay, let's narrow those down. And we kept going until we got down to 5 things that we felt like we as a community felt like were elemental to us being better, the best we can be. One of those was the education program. And we decided that we needed to do something better in our school system. Baldwin County is a good school system, but they did not give us what we wanted. We wanted to do something different to make sure our kids got treated the way we wanted them treated and not the way folks in Bay Minette want them treated. So we were the first school within the county to separate from the county and from our own school system. And boy, that has made a difference, and we are so proud of that. So that was one of our vision. How do we better education? We also recognized the challenges to medical care. At that point in time, you had to get all the way to Foley to get to an emergency room. And that just was too long and too hard and too dangerous for us. If you have a heart attack and you're living down Fort Morgan Road, your chances to get there in time are doubtful. And so we knew we had to do better, so we started working on medical improvements to creating access to better health care, trying to put a program together where we can get more doctors to come to Gulf Shores. We're still working on that with doctors, but we were able to work with South Baldwin and build the FED, the Freestanding Emergency Department, that allows us to get you and get anybody here, our visitors and our residents, to emergent care quickly. And that has been really important to everybody. That's important to the families that are coming here. It's important to us that live here. So the medical and the schools were really important. We also had a state park that had been destroyed in '04 in Ivan and had not been rebuilt. And we knew that there were monies coming, and we were very determined to help the state do something special there and make sure that what the state did with the BP money created what we needed to give us better access to a state park that we just loved. It 6,000 acres of trails and a way to get back into what Gulf Shores was in the beginning, because you don't see that much anymore. That's where we came from. Then the lodge, and giving us the opportunity to add to our tourism industry by bringing groups back and having that dynamic force on the beach. That was part of the vision. How do we help make that happen? We knew that was an element that would help make us, get us better than we were, give us something we didn't have. So the lodge, and I'm not looking at any of my notes, so we'll just keep going. If I miss something, Toby will let me know. So having the lodge back and having the state park back vital and operating was a big step also. Then our beaches were not in great shape. We did not have the beach access that we wanted. Didn't have the good parking areas that we had. The beach and the areas around the hangout in that loop that we made was the same as it was when I was in high school in Foley in the 60s. So it had not changed, and we said we can do better. So we went into, was able to get some funds from BP to able to revitalize our beaches and change and create a beach that we can all get to and go to and enjoy, and create a resident parking area where we got a place to park and not having to fight the tourists for a place to get to the beach and enjoy our beach. So revitalizing the beach, building sidewalks along 59 going north and south and along 182 on each side to be able to allow pedestrian and bicycle activity without having to get in the street. So that was all part of revitalizing our beach. And then we also realized what we always knew, that we don't have a second coast. We're not blessed with back bays like some of our neighbors are, and so we don't have any way to get in the water other than the beach. And when we have the beach shut down for whatever reason it is, we have no water access. So we started talking about creating a waterway district, which we did on the south side, and we're still working on that. And it's something that is a work in progress. We've got more to do there, but we've got a lot on the table and a lot of things that I believe are getting ready to happen that are going to be really successful there. We also now are building roads on the north side of the Intercoastal, east and west, to be able to access waterfront areas there with developers on the north side. We don't have a beach area to grow. We've got very few lots on the beach to build any beach access anymore. They're almost gone. So if we want to continue the tourism industry and the commercial opportunities here and create things like boating access for all of us, we've got to do it on the north side of the Intercoastal. So we are building the roads to allow that to happen. And so that really is the vision, where we are in Vision 2025 and what we've done there along those lines. And I think that's an update about the best I can give you on that. The good news is all of those things are in progress. And we're to the point where Vision 2025, we can see the end, which tells us it works so well for us have a focused approach with your input. We need to start all over. Let's start with Vision 2035. Let you tell us what you want to see going forward. And so we've got the latter part of this will be a presentation with John Walker, who is our city administrator, and he is here. He'll be up here next. But I want to go back and talk about a few things that I think are more current and right now important, and that is some of the projects that we have going on, the status of those. We, after 2012, in 2014, after we settled with BP and we started thinking about these projects, it was obvious that the publicity that we received from BP, and the world now knows Alabama have beaches and beautiful beaches, we started seeing more and more traffic. So we realized the traffic issues were not going to get better unless we fixed them. So we started looking for grants, for money from the federal government to give us the money to help us do the things like you see out there, building a third lane north and south from County Road 6 all the way to Fort Morgan Road, which is going slow, and I apologize. We've had problems with that contractor, and we've pushed him so hard he quit. And he sold his business to another company. They've moved in here, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I have. They're doing a lot better job of cleaning place up and working better and getting things done and moving quicker. So we've moved on to another contractor, but they have committed to us that they will have 59 from the bridge south to Fort Morgan Road finished by Memorial Day. Now that's sad. We got to deal with it that much longer, but we don't have any option. We're in it. We got to just gut it out and finish it. So we've got that going on. We also, that build grant that we got to fund those included a pedestrian bridge. And the pedestrian bridge, as you see, it's vital simply because to build a third lane south over 59, we're taking the lane that pedestrians and bicyclists used. That is gone. So there's no way to get a pedestrian or a bicycle across other than getting in traffic. And that's dangerous and not really what we need to do. So building a pedestrian bridge, it has elevators that'll go up and take bicycles and people up, and elevators that'll come down. It also has stairs in case you get up there and we have power issues. So that's our second round of that. The first round that we designed was grossly over-designed, and it came so far out of budget we had to quit. And we had to just throw it away and start all over. This is where we are. We opened the bids on this on November the 22nd, and we're optimistic that early next year we'll start construction on this. It's probably a 2-year build. So we're now back looking at 2026, trying to get some of these things done. But hopefully we will be able to speed that up a little bit so that we can open up the third lane south over the bridge before we get this done and get that traffic on that and help that process. So I'm not looking at my notes. So we're also, to get the PED Bridge, the 90-degree turn that we have on Canal Road onto on 2nd Avenue, that's got to go away at Tacky Jacks. That's got to go away because that bridge goes there. The bridge will sit there, and that we'll be able to get across from Lulu's just to the east of Lulu's and land by Tacky Jacks there, and we'll have plazas on each side for entertainment and for opportunities to enjoy that. It's functional, and we get people across that need to get across, but it also creates more value to an entertainment district that we've got an opportunity there on the Waterway Village. So working on that, there'll be more parking to be added at a later date, probably, unless our budget comes in good when we open it up for the PED Bridge to have parking in the first block south and the block north up on the north side, so to create more parking in that area, which is a really important part of this whole project. I'm going to see if I can catch up here. our high school. It's the status of our high school right now. And what you see, the auditorium is the big concrete block there. That's an area where our auditorium will be. That's got classrooms and offices on the what you see under construction. At the far end down there, they got library and a lot of open space. A really great opportunity for us to educate kids differently than we were educated. We sat in a chair. It's sit and get, I think, is what our separate superintendent called. Just sit there for an hour and they talk to you and you get up and walk out. This is more interactive and with people out moving around and able to learn by doing stuff other than just listening to someone talk to you. So I think it's a real vital addition to our city, and it's already created significant growth in our population. People are moving here so the kids can go to school here, and that's what we hope that we can grow our families here. It gives us what we want to be as a city. I think the majority of us really love to have our locals. Next, the Justice Center, we started out building a new jail. That was the last project. It didn't make the first round of cuts of the things we were going to do. And when it came in, it was, again, another thing that came in way over budget. So we had to stop the program, and then we moved to the Sacred Heart building. I think you may know that we have a Sacred Heart building that we bought 15 years ago for the opportunity to create medical opportunities there, and we've not been able to get anybody in there. The FED is built in the master plan for medical. We've got 32 acres up there that we purchased for medical expansion. We don't need that for medical, so we're converting that to a justice center. It will be our court system. It'll be jails off the island where we don't have, in storm situations, we don't have to move prisoners to some other place if we have prisoners in the jail. And so we will have that. The courts and everything will be there. And I think our cops, our policemen, Chief Delmore, Deputy Dan Niedermeyer, their leadership has given us the confidence that this is something that's needed and will be productive. And I'm getting close, I promise. I know we got a ball game. If there are any baseball fans in here. Next thing is our airport. And we entered into a venture a couple of years ago of exploring, can we ever get air flights in and out of here, and dealing with the FAA and dealing with our airport authority. And we've concluded that is possible, very possible. And so to do that, we're building a temporary terminal, which you have to have to start getting flights in and out. And we're dealing with a couple of airlines that have interest. Nothing's committed yet, but I'm hopeful that we're going to create some opportunity to have air traffic in and out of here to kind of let people come to the beach or let us go somewhere without having to get in your car. We can do that. We can eliminate some of the traffic coming in and out in traffic on the island. It'll help us immensely. So more to come on that, but I'm cautiously optimistic. The one thing that did not make the cut, our Coastal Gateway Park that we planned on and so excited about, when we ran into money issues and trying, because everything's over budget. I think you probably know that in your household, but everything costs more than it did and than we thought it would. So we had to cut back, and that will be the next thing on the schedule when we get ready to when we get to the point where we can do more projects. That'll be a little bit down the road. And that really is my recap on the deal. And now we're talking about Vision 2035, and I'm going to turn it over to John in just a minute. But we wouldn't have 2025 if you didn't do this, if you didn't come in here and help us understand what you want us to do. You elect us. You put us here to do the things you want to do. We're asking you to be engaged in this Vision 2035. Be engaged like you were in 25. Help us get to the point where we come up with another 5 or 6 or 7 projects that are important to us as we grow and as we continue to move forward. And I will tell you, we're determined that we can get there. You can either make it happen or let it happen, and we're not let it happen folks. And I don't think you are either. So we want to make happen what we want to do. Let's define the future we want. Thank you for being here tonight. John will take you through Vision 2035. And so thank you for being here, and I appreciate your attendance.
Thank you, Mayor. And thank you all for being here tonight. We really appreciate seeing you all here, and it shows you're invested, and it's great to kick off an event like this with this kind of interest. Vision 2035 will be the city's strategic plan. We need your help setting the direction for that plan of where we want to be in 10 years. This is our chance collectively to set the goals and decide what values we want to promote, promote over the next 10 years, and what goals we want to achieve over the next 10 years. Today, we're asking you to dream a little. Dream big. Let's create a vision of Gulf Shores that we want to live in 10 years from now. And please know that once we have the values and the goals established, we will have more meetings to establish the action plans and determine what projects we need to accomplish to move those forward. We're going to dream today, we're going to come up with the action plan tomorrow. So where do we begin? Well, the first step in this process actually began with the second annual resident satisfaction survey. We sent out over 4,000 surveys in July, and we received over 600 of those back. And we appreciate everyone who filled those out and gave us that information. To those who completed it, thank you. You gave us the starting point for these discussions. Now, we're going to pick up from that point and move forward with these results. As you can see from the survey results, we're doing great in some areas, like public safety. We also see that we have work to do in other areas, like the ease of getting around the city. We understand that. We have looked at this data and we've created some areas of focus for us to continue having conversations on these topics. And those areas of focus are small town culture, public safety, planned growth, lifelong learning, health and wellness, diverse and vibrant economy, and environmental resilience. We want to have these conversations with you to hear what's important to you on each of these topics. We're looking for your input tonight so that we can develop the core values around these focus areas. We're not going to have projects for you to consider tonight. Instead, we want you to tell us what you want to preserve, improve, or change in these areas of focus. We want to know what's important to our community when we think about these categories. When you think of small town culture, what do you want to see still thriving in 10 years? How do you want to get around the city to ease the flow of traffic? And what does the city look like 10 years from now? So in the back, there are stations. You'll see the large boards up on the wall. And we would like you to write down your thoughts on some sticky pads that we have back there and put those on the board. Let us know what's important to you. Let us know what's important to emphasize over the next 10 years in these areas. There's 2 additional stations, other than the focus areas. One is a priority exercise because we don't have infinite money. We do need to set some priorities. So we'll be giving you 3 dots and asking you to tell us which of these categories you think we should focus on. If we can't do all 7, we'd like to know which ones are most important. Those 3 dots will tell us where to spend our time and our talents. Your input here will help determine what is a priority for the next 10 years. The last station is what did we miss? So if you are looking through this and you say, I don't see what I want to hear, what I want to talk about. I don't see where a certain value is captured. Please let us know. Maybe we misunderstood some of the information. Maybe we forgot something or missed the point on something. That's your place to write it down and say, hey, please go back and look at this. After going through all those stations, we'll be done tonight, but tonight is not the end of the process. We'll review the information we receive. We will have more engagement opportunities coming up, both to gather more information on this but also to go meet with specific groups, neighborhoods. We want to meet in our school systems. And we also want to have more opportunities just for that engagement. We will also have opportunities, as I said, to talk about the plans that come out of these core values. If you've signed up, great. We know how to get in touch with you. If you haven't signed up, we need your information. If you could scan that QR code, and we'll make sure you get the information on the next meeting that we're going to have, or what information comes out along the way. Again, I want to thank you for being here tonight. I know it's a pretty big game on TV for a few people. I'm a Braves fan, so not so much. But thank you all for being here tonight. And I'll turn it back over to the mayor for some closing remarks. Thank you.
I'll be brief. I just want to reiterate how important this is to us to try to be the leaders you elect us to be. We need your input. We need your help. Thank you so much for being here. You'll have folks to answer questions or help you with any questions you have at the boards in the back. Please participate. We thank you so much for being here, and let's do all we can do to make this make this city the best it can be. Thank you again. We're dismissed to go to the back of the room.